I'd like to call tonight's meeting to order of the Carbon County Animal Shelter Advisory Commission. These proceedings are being recorded for the purpose of constituting the accuracy of written minutes. Tapes are reused, eliminating recorded records of these proceedings. The meeting will be in perpetuity on Facebook. At this time, I'd like us to take a moment of silence and prayer. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next order of business is roll call. I am here. Peggy is an excused absence.
Christina Zawakil is here. And Tom Morris is here.
Thank you. And did everybody get a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Let the minutes stand as read. There are no additions or corrections to the minutes. We need to have a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second the
Okay.
motion for the minutes.
I'm doing dual duty tonight, so bear with me. Kindly pass that to the envelope, just so I'm not carrying it home by mistake. Any opposed? There's no one here to oppose, so motion is carried. Okay. There are no guests, there are no public comments. So the next order of business is the commissioner comments. Commissioner Lukasiewicz is absent tonight. He was not able to attend, but he would like us to watch a video by Simon Sinek, and the topic is why. Roll the footage. thank you for doing that for us.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Okay. Does anybody have any comments about what you saw? I think I'll be looking at my dog training business a little differently from now on. It's interesting. Okay. Can anybody see how that applies to the shelter setting?
It applies to all life, I feel. It doesn't
It
just
does.
apply, it applies to individual, like how you live your
Right.
daily life. Yeah.
Right.
It would be good to be able to like send that out to like Peggy. I mean, I know she'll probably watch it over, but just so if they want to on their free time or whoever's another person on the board.
I may, because I know Commissioner Lukasevich already saw it, so
Yeah.
I'm going to see if we can't send a link to Tom via Corinne.
Yes, whenever they have time.
Yes,
Take a look.
right. Okay. Okay. So now we're into the chairman's comments. I have a few, not very many. I finally took the time and went down to the Lehigh Valley Humane Society. If you haven't done so already, for anybody who's listening to this live broadcast, I wholeheartedly and 100% recommend that you go. We had Hal and Steve here last time, and their explanation of how that shelter runs is, they didn't do it justice. I was greeted by a friendly staff who made me feel as welcome as a family member would make me feel. I got there in the midst of them with their cleaning routine. I don't know what they had to clean, other than maybe pens and such, because even as it goes, it was pretty darn clean first thing in the morning. And there's a few things that impressed me. One is they have positions for people like secretary, executive director. They have adoption specialists. They have a cleaning crew. They have vet staff. They have vet techs. They have a receptionist. They have a full surgical suite that's only a year old and beautiful, just beautiful, okay? The thing I was most impressed by is, and again, my dog training background, I would expect this to be my most impressive thing, is when I walked in, the kennels that housed the dogs, they had, it was your standard kennel. It wasn't chain link, it was something else. But they had visual impairment panels on the bottom of the kennel so that the dog isn't going over a threshold when they see somebody walk in. They could still jump up and see, but the amount of barking I heard in there for how many dogs they had was very minimal. So I would like to see our shelter do that one day. I know it's gonna probably cost, a lot of money for the county, but if we're here to fulfill our mission statement and do the best we can for the dogs and the best we can for the shelter, I most certainly think we need to move in that direction at some point. I know it's gonna take a while, but what they're doing is a recipe for success, and I very much like to model after that at some point. And I would, again, highly suggest that you take the time. You know, it took me 45 minutes to drive down there. I was there maybe 45 minutes, another 45 minutes home. So and Hal and Steve have extended again the invitation to contact them and make arrangements to go down. I'm actually going to be attending one of their board meetings, the March board meeting. So just to see how their board is run. So, okay. That's the extent of my comments. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Hi.
Let me shut this door.
So next on our agenda is Carbon County Director's Report. I'm sorry, Carbon County Animal Shelter Director's Report. I'll be honest with you, I was handed a cross, I guess this comes under financial though. Let me just table this. I don't think we have anything to report at this time except for at the current time, there are total number of kennels is 16. The number of dogs at the start of February were 8. There were 11 dogs at the end of the month. There were 8 adoptions, 7 owner surrenders taken in, 2 hold release back to owner. Dogs rehomed instead of shelter was 4. Total number of dogs in their care at one time was 13. There were 2 public or police calls and 6 responded to. The facility report for the animal shelter, there is nothing to report on exterior status, nothing to report on vehicle status, and as far as outstanding work orders, the signage for both exterior doors is in progress. It does not say anything about the guillotine doors. So I'm wondering if that has been completed.
Because I know, I don't know if it was last month or January, but I thought Tom said that they were almost done, or
Right.
they were getting the materials.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Do you know if they've been?
I don't know 100%.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Committee reports. Volunteer program. We are going to table that because we do not have a full staff. I can't see the point of diving into something when we don't have a full staff.
You mean full board members?
I mean, sorry.
No, I was just making sure.
Full board
Yeah,
member,
okay.
staff, yeah.
I'm
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Again, we're gonna table the advertising marketing, due to not a full board. The budget report. Oh, can I go back a little bit? Under the Carbon County Animal Shelter Director Report, I should have mentioned that there's apparently only 2 vacancies now. There's a part-time kennel worker and a part-time canine officer. Everything else looks as though it's been filled. Okay. All right. Now to budget report. I'd like to thank everyone that donated in the month of February. The total donations for between cash and check totaled $1,573 for the month of February. Apparently, there was $5,191.93 donated in food and $576.99 donated in supplies as well. So again, thank you to the general public for making that happen. I have a feeling public knows why we need to do this. So, okay. I do have one thing under correspondence. I did receive an official letter from the Carbon County Commissioners, and it states that, Dear Mrs. Marr, please be advised that the County Commissioners at their meeting held February 9th, 2023, accepted the resignation of Frank Mignecco from the Carbon County Animal Shelter Advisory Commission. And on behalf of the board, I also want to thank him and wish him well in his future endeavors. They did give him a little certificate as well.
Oh, nice.
So, okay. All right. Next order of business is old business. We have no one here to update us on the HVAC system, so we're gonna table that. Oh, well, I just did,
No,
okay.
step ahead.
One way or another, it's gonna come up under some topic. Okay. Best Friends Partnership. I don't mean to bore you, but here we go. If you have any questions, stop me in the middle.
This is the middle of the big part of the meeting.
I'm not gonna speak too long.
You worked hard on it.
Well, but I'm gonna thank, before I start, I'm gonna thank Christina because, I mean, publicly, because
Yeah.
she was the contact person to get me contact people, because I was spinning my wheels. I spent the better part of probably 2 weeks emailing, researching, trying to find a reason why we should not do this. That was my why, is because there has been a lot of talk in the past about we don't have staffing. What do they expect of us? I think there's been a lot of fear surrounding this project. I think people don't understand what it is. And I'm gonna be very honest with you, when Christina first brought it up, I was like, not quite sure, not that she didn't do a good job explaining it, but I needed to wrap my head around it and figure out why this is such a good thing, okay? If I'm going to bullet point this, there is nothing negative. This organization, and by the way, come to find out after a little digging, Carbon County Animal Shelter has partnered with Best Friends in the past. And the way that they partnered was Best Friends helped them with transport of an animal. This was years ago. I don't even know if it happened when Tom was in.
Probably was between Tom and Bruce.
I think so, okay?
It was there.
And so that is one example of how this network can help us. And what I like about this is if we're just thinking about the dogs and letting ego go and letting fear go, the dogs that we have in long-term care can be, through breed partners, through other shelters, not have to spend their life in our shelter. There are avenues to use to get these dogs moving and into a home so that they're not institutionalized. So if we are doing our jobs, and if all of us, the shelter, Tom, the commissioners, If everybody's on the same page with animal welfare and doing the best they can for the animals, there is no reason not to move this forward and become a partner. So one might ask, what do we do to become a partner? There's 2 forms we fill out. There is the application. There is help me out, Christina. Can't see it on my notes. There is a data form, okay? So this piece of paper where I just read how many dogs, blah, 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 this is what they need. They need this, and they need an application, and we are good to go.
I think they need like 2 or 3 contacts on the application.
And I found out that if Tom's too busy, Maria doesn't want to do it, I can be the contact person without legally overstepping my bounds, because contact people can change, okay? So if we're going to bullet point other reasons why we should be best friends partner, is there's grants available. There are grants available from Rachel Ray. There are grants available from Walmart. Big companies are funding these grants. There's no guarantee we would get them because they're competitive. However, it's an option. It's an avenue to travel down to get more revenue to put in these types of kennels that have the visual impairment panels. And if we partner with Best Friends, they have resources to offer us in the form of policies and procedures and expertise on anything you need from any aspect of the dog world, because they have a board of people, a group of people who are businessmen, there's software people, there's dog trainers, there's vets, there's from every walk of life in this conglomerate of helpfulness. So we basically spun our wheels trying to create these policies. And had we been a member of Best Friends, it would have been, hey, I need this policy. And what really impresses me about this organization is they have a special entity within Best Friends that helps municipal shelters. So you have your mom and pop rescues, like I work with one person here and I work another one down in Georgia. So they're by themselves, they have a small board, they don't have a brick and mortar thing. That type of person can be a best friend partner. So there is no financial cost to us as the shelter. We owe them nothing except for an application and a yearly data reporting. If we don't do data reporting, we can't do anything else as a shelter. Data reporting is where all your grant money comes from. It's how you tell the public, this is what we did this year. We took in this many dogs this year. We saved maybe potentially this many dogs from dying on the street or, getting killed by a car or whatever. And if we can provide that type of thing to the public, if they see what we're doing on a grand scale, the amount of contributions, donations, can even be more than what they are now. Okay? So
Do they dictate then?
Nothing. They dictate
So we
nothing.
can continue to run the shelter as we feel. If
Correct.
an animal is ill, and we feel it's in the best interest of that animal to euthanize, they cannot tell us
No.
we cannot.
No judgment.
Even if they become a 100% no euthanizing.
Well, they'll never do that, because that's not in their mission.
Oh, I thought that they were trying
They're
that.
they're no kill by 2025, but no
Yes.
kill means 90%.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
Because they realize
Okay, okay.
that
That's what that
sometimes,
means
Okay.
for them.
sometimes dogs are so sick you can't
Yeah.
save them.
Right.
It's not practical to go 100% no
Right.
kill.
That's what their no kill means.
Okay.
And
Right.
it says
Okay.
it like in the website. I don't know if it says it like on the first page, but if you like
Okay.
look
Right.
up about their, because that I have one of my my water bottles is no kill by 2025 for
Right.
cats and dogs, but that's what they mean. It means
Okay.
90% no kill in the country.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so what they mean is, we can't place this dog, so we're gonna euthanize. That's what
Yeah.
they mean by no kill.
It's not in your sense where like, the animal's sick or like
Right,
that
right.
situation. Yeah.
And if that were to happen, and we have an animal that is mentally unstable, and we don't feel comfortable
Right.
adopting that out, do they then take that upon them?
No.
To
No.
take that animal and rehome it at a shelter, or?
No.
Does that mean then we're stuck with it?
It just means that if you have to behavioral euthanize, you can do that.
Oh, we could behavioral euthanize?
Sure. Sure,
Yeah, basically they're a silent partner.
right.
They're like
Okay.
100% silent. You do
Okay.
how you want to do, and
Right.
whenever you need help, you reach out to them.
Okay,
And you don't have to that's what you were saying
Okay.
about the data form, that's the only thing you have to give them. You don't
Okay.
have to tell them how really you're running
Right.
your shelter. You don't have to tell them anything if you don't
Okay.
want to.
They don't,
Okay.
they don't want to be in our business.
okay, okay.
And coincidentally, what I did was I went on the website and I Googled how many people on their website, they have a best friends locator. Carbon County Friends of Animals is a best friend partner, okay? Within 50 miles, there were 34 practices, shelters, whatever you want to call it, that were best friends partner, okay? And my contention is, I'm just gonna ask it, why can't our commissioners see the benefit of this? We need no staffing. There's no involvement from best friends. It's, hey, we need a policy for this. Do you have anything that you can share with us that maybe we can institute? So in the long run, it saves us work of trying to spin our wheels, trying to create a document that maybe isn't going to be 100% what the shelter needs. Because they've been through it already.
And I think too, to add on to that, kind of what you were saying, Dr. Dawn, is that I think the word partner is messing people up, that you don't know a lot about best friends, because partners, I think we explained that, talked about that last week with Steve and Hal, where I think it's like everyone thinks, okay, well, what are they taking, what are they giving, how, but like that, it's not really a partnership, it's more they're there for you, they're the silent, and whenever you need resources, you just go, hey, we need help with this, or you don't even have to reach out, you can just go on their website.
Right.
Like, you're not sometimes even talking.
You don't
with
have to
them.
talk to
Yeah.
anybody.
And I think that's maybe what's confusing, maybe the commissioners, like whoever,
Right,
whoever's
right.
unsure.
It's more of a
So.
network
It's a
versus a
network.
partnership.
It is, and maybe they
So-
didn't pick the right name. Maybe
Right.
Maybe they didn't pick the right.
We didn't pick
Network.
the name either.
Yeah,
Right.
network partner, but maybe they should have took out the partner,
Right.
you know?
I
Right.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Right. So when you enter into a partnership with another human being, say a marriage, there's give and take,
Correct.
That's a good
Right?
one,
Right, right.
okay? As a vet, you enter into a partnership with your client. I am telling you to do this, I expect you to do it because it's for the good of the dog, okay? You could be the heavy if you wanted to. You can do anything you want with that client. And whether or not the client does it is still up for grabs, right? So best friend partners is just like that. You can sign up and never use anything they have. That would not behoove us, I don't think,
But,
but
But you can.
right.
you can. I belong to a lot of groups that I never use, but if that one time I need that one screw or that one bolt, and I gotta reach out to them, it's there for a resource. Okay?
Makes sense.
So,
And that's good what you brought up about the no-kill, because sometimes,
That's
because
the only
each,
thing that made me nervous.
each place is different, each organization is different about that. But yeah, if you go on, they have, like, back in 2016, the CEO at their conference, they have an annual conference, and she was the one was like, we're gonna shoot for being 2020, no-kill 2025 with dogs and cats. But that, again, and she like clarified, but it's 90%. Because
Right.
they have, like, out there in Utah, they have a lot of behavioral cases. They, like, when I did my internship, like, there was times where they're like, yeah, we had to
Yes.
use the
Right.
knife. Like, you don't, it's not
because it
good
becomes
for
a
the
safety
animal.
issue.
Correct.
Yeah,
Right.
so.
So, one of the other things that I really like about Best Friends, when you're part of the network, the Best Friends Network, they have, and I'm gonna read it right from what she sent me, is being a part of the network gives groups all across the country the chance to work together as a best friends, provides help to support effective adoption, spay, neuter, and intake prevention programs. What if we came up, what if they have a program to help us reduce the number of dogs that go in the shelter by way of public education? Now, you're never gonna stop dogs from going into a shelter 100%. But what happens if we can keep those dogs at home that need to be kept home, and that makes room for animals that really need to be in the shelter? You know what I'm saying? And that they know that all of this will significantly save lives. And that's, for as big of an organization as they are, when I talked to, what was her name? Meryl today, I could feel the passion and the why in her voice.
And everyone you talk to are best friends like that. You can talk to the people who work in the best friend shop. Like, I know, like, through going there and even calling them, even like I have their magazine quarterly, they send out a magazine if you remember. And even when you call and be like, hey, I changed my address, they're just like, you can feel it. It's that energy, what that guy was saying.
You can feel the why
Yeah, you
in
can feel
whatever
the why.
they do.
Yeah.
And to piggyback off of this, when you can feel somebody's why, then you become just as impassioned as the person who understands the why. And that's why your job and my job are so difficult, because a lot of times people don't know the why. You and I know the why because we're dealing with this every day. The why is to save lives and not have people hurt. Why wouldn't the shelter, the animal shelter here, why wouldn't they want that? Why wouldn't the commissioners want that, is my question.
And I wanted to say something too, not to like, but I want to piggyback off of what you're saying, because I think to another con that was brought up was like, why do we want to be bigger, or why do we want to be a part of like the networking? And I think like to that, like, why not? Because obviously they're doing something right. They're the biggest no-kill organization, 90% no-kill organization in the country.
Right.
And it's something where, like, no matter if you talk to them, like, they're doing, like, I just see, like, they're doing something right, and why wouldn't you want to be like, oh, yeah, we're a part of their network? Because a lot of people know of best friends. Like, I've met people where, like, I'll just be like, oh, yeah, I did my internship there, and they're like, no way, I've been there. Like, I know
Right.
a lot of people from Indiana, Pennsylvania, like, different places.
If I could get
So,
there,
Yeah.
I'd be gone. I'd be on a plane
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Well, that's also part of the networking, which I know that would be, you would need more staff to do it, but you can go there and like, with the networking, you can go, like the staff can go there and visit and volunteer, or they can go to the conference. Like, there's so many more in-person experiences. Obviously, that would be once we get more staff, but that would be awesome if Tom and like one or two could go do that.
Right.
You know, like and I know that's maybe far-fetched in their minds, but like, you don't know, like, it could possibly be
But
a
why not?
possibility.
You know,
Continuing it.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, everybody says, oh, we don't want the shelter to get too big, right?
Right.
Well, what if it does? What if it takes off? What if it gets so good? You know what I'm saying?
And then that, and in that sense, then you get more staff, and you're like, yeah, I mean, abundance follows abundance.
Correct.
So, yeah.
And if we're constantly putting the brakes on and imagining things that aren't there, it's gonna be counterproductive to any progress that we glean for the shelter. We're gonna be stuck at our job if we can't move some of these fears aside and start working like the team we should be. They have one more thing that I really, really like. It's called the Rescue Walk. Through this free mobile app, members raise money and resources for their favorite animal welfare organizations, and all they have to do is walk. So people who like to walk their dogs, they get on this app, they put in Carbon County Animal Shelter once we're a partner, and money is donated to the shelter. The county isn't held responsible for raising that money. It's a benign fundraiser. There's no legalities, there's nobody on any properties that they shouldn't be. Everybody's walking at their leisure, at their own pace. I really, really like that. They have a transport connection map, which I think is awesome. If you need a dog transported from your shelter to somewhere else, they help out. And by the way, there is people in the region. There's regional help and there's national help. So we would be assigned to a regional person who then helps us when we get stuck. And if we never get stuck, we never need them. Okay.
You could be a best friend representative now.
I can.
You have all this now information.
But it took me I really had to look for what are the cons.
Right.
I really, because I am a very pros and cons person. I write them down. This is how I make my decisions. Are these pros good enough pros to override the cons, or are the cons so awful that I can't live with the pros?
And this was another reason why I wanted someone else to look into it, because I think looking at, and not that I knew what it's all about, but I think looking at fresh eyes for someone who maybe wasn't as sure as me is good, because then you're kind of telling everyone else who's like, oh, on the fence, oh, hey, yeah, like, it is actually what, they're saying. And you got to talk to someone too, which was awesome.
I almost want to be a
friends.
rescue group now so I can be a best friend's partner.
I mean, you can if you want to. The sky's the limit.
Maybe I should call Meryl and say, hey, I'm a dog trainer. Can I be a best friend's partner?
Yeah. Maybe you would start a new thing.
And I am a skeptic by nature. I have to be a skeptic because I have to look at all those little things that go into training a dog,
Yep.
and you have to be skeptical. Am I being told the truth?
Yep.
Is this really what the dog's feeling? Is the
People.
dog sick? Blah, blah,
People.
blah, blah, blah,
You gotta
right?
be skeptical of people, yep.
So, if,
And the stories. Yeah.
there's nothing there that's a con. I would defy anybody to point a con out to me at this point. And I'm, excuse the expression, a pit bull when it comes to getting information. I will dig and dig and dig and dig and dig and dig. I am a rat terrier. I
I
will
was gonna
dig
say.
and dig and dig and dig
I was gonna
until,
more of a little dog.
Yes.
Or a husky.
Yeah, or a husky, yeah. But you won't catch them though.
Right. Okay,
Well, thank you.
any questions? Okay. All right. See, it wasn't too long.
No, it was good.
We're gonna table number
Yeah.
4. Any new business?
No, we got a lot of old business.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to add anything new.
No,
Not
not
yet.
at this point.
Until we have a full board.
Yeah, definitely.
Further business? Anybody can think of anything?
I mean, I told you what I said, but mine's with the volunteer program, so.
Did I have to make a motion to accept the budget report?
Can't hurt.
We can, yeah.
Let's just make a
Let's just
motion.
do it.
Let's backtrack a little bit. Do I have a motion to accept the budget report?
I will make that motion for the budget report.
And I'll second it.
I don't remember doing that last time, but
We'll just be safe.
Christina made the motion to accept budget report, and Dawn seconded. Okay. Okay. All right, next meeting will be held on April 4th, 2023 at 6 PM in this very same meeting room, 44 Susquehanna Street, Jim Thorpe, PA. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.